objects and classes in Java, the real simple stuff. Let's get into that. So objects and classes. So let's first define what an object is. And an object, very simply, an object, it has two things. It has stuff and does things. So it has some data and it's able to change it, right? Another way that we might say it is it has a state and it has behavior. Or it has fields and it has methods. So it has stuff and does things. That makes more sense in my brain than state and behavior and fields and methods. But these are the more official terms within Java, and the stuff and things is the way that I remember how it works. So this is an object. An object has stuff and it does things. Examples of everyday objects. Dogs, right? Dogs have things. They have 4 legs. They have a tail. They have a muzzle. They have a nose. They have ears. They have fur. They have stuff. They can do things. They can bark. They can run. They can jump. They can fetch. They can scratch their fleas. All the things that a dog can do. You can have a car, right? Car has things. It has wheels. It has a steering wheel. It has windows. It has doors. It has an engine. It has all kinds of things, right? Chairs and stereos and air conditioning and all that stuff. And it does things. It can go drive places. And you can turn on the radio and listen to music. And you can do different things within a car. Right? These are all different objects, etc. Okay? So lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of things in our daily lives are objects. And in Java, we want to define things in those kinds of ways, in those broad terms that give us some kind of specific piece of information. Now, we're not going to define something as complex as a car because it has so many different parts. We're going to design much smaller objects later on, but that's essentially what an object is. So we've said what an object is, but what defines the object? And what defines the object is the class. So the class is, it's the idea of the object. It's the blueprint. So an example of this might be, is actually blueprints themselves, right? Is when you're building a house, you have blueprints for what that house is, but the blueprints aren't actually the house. Once you build the house, now you have an object. And you can build another house with that same blueprint and create another object. And we do this with a simple keyword that I've mentioned before, and that keyword is new. So the new keyword, this is a keyword that creates a new instance of an object. So instance just means that we are creating an instance. I struggle to find a more basic word for it, but it just means that we have one of them. We have a definition, or not even a definition, we have the thing itself. We have an instance of it. The blueprint is not an instance of a house. Once we build the house, that is an instance. That is the house itself. And we actually, when we're using the new keyword, so I'll underline this and make sure we say that this is a keyword. Keyword. But when we create a new instance, we call it, and hopefully I can spell it right, instantiation. Instantiation is when we create a new object from a class. We've done this before. We've done this when we created a string. And remember that when we create a string, let's say string s equals this. String s equals some string. This is the same thing, or very similar to, saying string s equals new string some string. Similarly, before we have already seen the scanner. Scan equals new scanner system.in. In both of these cases, we're creating we are instantiating new objects. In this case, we're instantiating a new string type object, and in this case, we are instantiating a new scanner type object. We're also letting Java know that, hey, our string and our scanners, they match these data types, that we're able to save a scanner type in our scan, and we're giving it a new scan. We've created our bucket of scanner type, and we're putting a scanner in our bucket of scanner type. Same thing with string. We have a string type bucket, and we're putting a string into that bucket. So that is the basics of what an object and what a class are. It's fairly straightforward on the surface, but we're going to start delving deeper into what these behaviors allow us to do. And the broad definitions of these give us a lot of leeway to make really complex and interesting programs once we finally get to start creating our own objects and classes and not just using built-in Java ones. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one.